اللهم إنا نسألك خير هذه الليلة وخير ما فيها وخير ما بعدها، ونعوذ بك ربنا من شر هذه الليلة وشر ما فيها وشر ما بعدها. أصلح لنا ديننا ودنيانا وآخرتنا، وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا، وبارك لنا فيما رزقتنا، وقنا اللهم عذاب النار، واصرف عنا أسباب العذاب في الدنيا والآخرة يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم آمين يا رب. Inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as you see, alhamdulillah, we have maybe the whole week is covered with the khawatir. Monday we have Brother Muhammad al-Laythi, Tuesday we have Brother Basil, Wednesday I can fill that gap if they don't mind, and Thursday we have Brother Muhammad Ali, alhamdulillah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are trying to encourage Brother Muhammad Suwailam too to have a spot, but alhamdulillah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it means the more beneficial if we can talk about the tafsir. We're going to move the tafsir from Monday to Wednesday inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And tonight we need to start another journey with Surah Al-Qasas. Surah Al-Qasas, from the name of it, it's like the stories. Am I right? You're going to help me with the translation? Okay. The stories. It's me. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala needs to give us the stories. Actually, the stories in the Quran, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the stories in the Quran with two things. Ahsan al-Qasas and al-Haqq. It means the truth. And the highest level of the stories you can listen to, it's going to come from Rabbil Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the information about the stories or about somebody or something or actions, He is giving us the benefit through the story which He is giving us. The most of the people thinking the stories of the Quran just coming with the prophets, but we have another people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about them. You know, imagine just for example Luqman. Nobody knows if he is a prophet or not, and we still have a story of Luqman. The mom of Musa, ala nabiyina alayhi salatu wassalam, we have a story about this woman, and we have a lot of things around that. Even the disbelievers, we have stories about the disbelievers like Qarun and like Fir'aun and like Haman and so on. ذَرْنِي وَمَنْ خَلَقْتُ وَحِيدًا in Surah Al-Muddathir, we have a story. Sometimes the story gonna come with the long, details, and sometimes it's coming with the short details. In my humble opinion, sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us a story when He is talking about action. Just for example, when He talked about Ghazwat Uhud and He said, مِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرِيدُ الدُّنْيَا وَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرِيدُ الْآخِرَةِ. He gave us a story in a what do you call it, like a snapshot, something like that. It's like laqta kida, is giving us a story. And once we are hearing something like that, it's enough to give us the lessons. Over here in Surah Al-Qasas, what is the main story came in Surah Al-Qasas? You're going to find a story about Qarun at the end of the surah, and you're going to find a story about Fir'aun, but the main story about Musa alayhi salam and his struggling with Fir'aun. The surah started with Tasin Mim. Sometimes we have Tasin Mim and sometimes we have Tasin, in Surah An-Naml. This is Tasin and this is Tasin Mim. I started to think what's different between them. But actually when we look at the details of each one of the surah, you're going to say, okay, this surah it's matching with just 2 letters, and this surah is matching with 3 letters, and this surah is matching with 4 letters, and sometimes you have 5 letters. This surah, it's coming with Ta, Sin, Mim, 3 letters. We are calling like separate letters. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the separate letters at the beginning of some surahs of the Quran? To show His i'jaz, His miracle in this book, and showing us whatever you're going to have with that divine script or divine book, it's connected from it's how can we say تتكون من consist. That's what I'm looking for. It's like consist from or of the letters. If you have the ability to collect a few letters to do something like what we already revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, here you go to do something like that. But nobody can do anything like that. He said Tasin Mim, and he started the surah with Tilka ayatul kitab al-mubin. The mubin in Arabic language actually like the clear enough to make everybody understand it without even thinking deeply. It's like really clear. It's obvious meaning. Nobody needs anything to understand the words of the Quran. This is Kitab and Mubin. By the way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said at the beginning of the surah, Natlu alayka. Natlu alayka, the tilawa usually coming with a recitation coming after, in a while you are reciting the same things. Just for example, we are reciting Surah Al-Fatiha. How many times a day? 17 times at least. Every single day we are repeating the surah 17 times at least. If we will not pray any sunan, we are repeating Surah Al-Fatiha 17 times. Why we are reciting Surah Al-Fatiha? Why we are natlu Surah Al-Fatiha every single rak'ah? To remind us about something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, natlu alayka. He didn't say we're going to give you the information. We're going to give, he didn't say, nadhkuru laka dhak. But he keep it as a kind of tilawa to keep it repeated in the minds of the mu'mineen in a while. You know how many oppressions and how many people they already oppressed because of the dhullam at that time, everywhere. Why we have that situation with the Muslim community? This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Natlu. We're going to keep reminding you about the Fir'aun and about the victim like Musa and the people over there and so. He said, Natlu alayka min naba'i Musa wa Fir'auna bil haqqi. We're going to give you the truth, the facts. How many sides over here? We have Musa and Fir'aun. Which one has more power at that time? When we look at Musa as a person and Fir'aun as a kingdom, actually, which one has more power? You're going to find Fir'aun. By why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said Musa before Fir'aun? Because Musa, even if he had that kind of weaknesses worldly, but he has the position in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Fir'aun cannot achieve it. Fir'aun usually coming late, coming after. When we look at any one of the like people oppressing the people right now, anywhere, we're going to find them coming late. Even at the day of judgment, the people of the haqq going to come first, and the people of the dhulm and batil going to come after. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Natlu alayka min naba'i Musa wa Fir'auna bil haqqi liqawmin yu'minun. Usually the mu'mineen, they already learning from the lessons which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it to us. But once you find yourself, having something that the Quran is like affecting you, giving you that tranquility, being content because you are listening to the Quran or reading the Quran or looking at the Mus'haf, this is one of the signs you already have an iman in your heart. If you are hearing the Quran without any kind of effect, you're not giving attention to the Quran, but the Imam is reciting, and I'm not giving attention, this is not a good sign actually. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لِقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ. And He started to tell us the first story, but it came from the beginning, not from the beginning, but in the middle of the story or before the ending, when He said, إِنَّ فِرْعَوْنَ عَلَى فِي الْأَرْضِ. He had his authority over everything in the whole world at that time. Okay? He had the full power as a human being. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described that إِنَّ فِرْعَوْنَ عَلَى فِي الْأَرْضِ كُلِّهَا. And He said subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَجَعَلَ أَهْلَهَا شِيعًا. He could define the people to make them like groups or ahzab or whatever you can say. يَسْتَضْعِفُ طَائِفَةً مِّنْهُمْ. Making some of them weak, and like how can we say يُسَلِّطُ بَعْضُهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضًا. لا أنت لازم تكون مستعد تلحقني بسرعة. إيش الشغل ده؟ Make them fight each other. دي ترجمة مصري بحتة جاي من آخر الدنيا يفتينا هنا. أوكي. معلش حديث عهد بأمريكا فمعذور أنا نغفر له يعني. الشاهد فك. Now we are seeing Fir'aun dividing the people to fight with each other, to destroy each other. When we look at the people right now, what is the Israel doing with the Ahl Gaza? Just for example. And who is giving them the authority to do that and giving them the warmth and so and so? We are finding another kind of Fir'aun controlling the dunya right now and putting his fingers everywhere and trying to guide the people here and there. يستضعف طائفة منهم يذبح أبناءهم ويستحيي نساءهم. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described that kind of oppression happening at that time. And when we look at the time right now, wallahi al-azim, we're going to find the same results in our hands. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the mu'mineen the test, the ikhtibar? Because the mu'mineen, they are only kind of people deserve to receive that kind of ikhtibar. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to test the disbelievers? What is the reason over there? If somebody asking me why that happened with Ahl Gaza, okay, who deserves to get the test if they're not giving that test? You know, who like qualified to be in that position? As we mentioned before, the test of the elementary school, it's not more difficult than the test for the middle school, not more the high school, the master degree, the PhD. Which one is more difficult? The PhD, because this is the highest level of the education, and we need to make sure you are now qualified to have that position to be one of the ulama in this dunya. You know, Ahl Gaza and Ahl Palestine and everywhere where everybody deserving to receive that kind of test, you know, it means he had a high position or down. He is in that position because of that. The first lesson we need to learn tonight before somebody gonna sleep right now. He's really sleepy. I know everybody's really tired. This is the end of the day. Jazakumullah khairan for your patience and sitting with me up to the main lesson we need to learn together tonight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He talked about Fir'aun. Why? Because He's showing us the different kind of Fir'aun are gonna come to this dunya. To be ready to have the same test if we're gonna have it, and to be ready to observe that, and to be ready to pass that kind of tests. And the goal of all of us is Al-Jannah, inshaAllah tabaraka wa ta'ala, and we are waiting for that moment to show ourselves in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Rabb al-Alameen, we would doing our part, and we deserve to be in this position inshaAllah ta'ala because of your rahmah and because of your tawfiq for us for what we already did. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu feekum. We're going to continue our journey inshaAllah subhanahu wa ta'ala with Surah Al-Qasas. Salamullahi alaykum.